Okay, so to make the white rose from Alice in Wonderland, you're going to need Sculpey clay. And I only got a box this big because I'm doing a lot of projects for my Alice in Wonderland stuff. If you want to do a lot of projects, then I would suggest getting the 3.75 pounds. I got this from AC Moore. It's a craft store, and it goes into the oven for about 15 minutes on 275. So this is the best thing to use so that you make sure that your project lasts forever unless it falls and it gets broken. Then we have the Wilton's gum paste flower kit, which I'm using the cookie cutter from it and the rolling pin. I'm pretty sure these come with the Wilton's kit. And I also have a second Wilton's kit that comes with all these little things that do various stuff to the flowers that you make. I think the actual book tells you that it's in your best interest to buy this too. So I'm using this thing. It kind of looks like a little thin knife thing. So if you don't want to buy the second kit, just use something that's going to be able to cut through. I actually don't know if I need it for this, but I've got it anyway. So first off, you need to go through your clay. Your clay comes like this, and you have to pretty much knead through it to make it like this. Otherwise, you can't really use it yet. So start off with her head, and when you're doing this, you want to keep a picture of her next to you so you know what you're doing. And her head is kind of like a teardrop shape almost, like that. And because of the back of her rose, like what comes over her head, drapes over, you need to kind of bean shape it in the back. That way when you put the flower petals over her head, they don't just fall in front of her face. So this is going to have flower petals over it, and this will be the front, and you won't even notice the back part. For the petals, you want to take big chunks of it when you roll it out. You don't want to roll it out too much, because what's going to happen is you're going to roll it out even more to make the petal big. And if you make it too big, if you don't make it really thick, then the petal gets really thinned out and it doesn't really work out well. So So the first petal that goes over her head is off center, so I'm putting it on like not actually straight. And depending on how big you make it is gonna make the difference of how much you have to drape it. And just look at the picture and try and make the front of it come down the way that it does on her thing. I actually don't have the picture up right now. I'm kind of going off of memory. So the first one I think I made her head too big. And then the second one, probably want to make it thicker because it goes behind that first one and it seems to cloak around her face. I didn't get that right when I just made the one that I baked before. As you notice, I'm like pushing the clay through the cutter because it doesn't want to come out. Now, the point got dulled out, so I'm just gonna define it by pinching it. And then just put it... I think I did this upside down. That's why it's not working out for me. Yeah, if you make a mistake, it's really easy to just take it apart and redo it. So, just take the big one and wrap it around. I'm actually not sure if I like it the way it is. And if you decide that you have too much, you can always take off from the bottom or whatever. You don't have to keep it on. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do... I'm sorry guys, I forgot to do her little swoops of hair. So for the little swoops, I'm actually going to use the really tiny flower piece. It actually fits inside of the biggest one. See, this is what I mean about messing up and being able to go back and fix it. And my clay is stuck in, and it's too tiny, so I just pressed out from the bottom. So because I forgot those, all I have to do really is peel back her head. And you want to make sure that they're centered because they kind of make the part in, I guess, what you would consider her hair for this. And you just flip these up. That one spot is just too soft. Okay. And then I'm going to work on the little petals that, well, I can't call them little, but I'm going to work on the petals that go underneath her neck. I mean, by her neck, I guess, come off of her neck. If you make it too thin, then you can always just go back and redo it. But this is just kind of like a how-to video. I'm not really going to bake her, since I already made the one. I don't think I can ever make the same thing twice, the same way. Okay, so that's basically how you do that. I have like some Norton thing in my way. And then for the back petals, I'm basically using the opposite side of the cutout. And I want these petals to be thick so that they can drape over nicely without falling. And I'm going to make 4 cutouts. Even though the one petal on her left-hand side looks like one, it just makes it easier to make 2 petals and just mold them together. So her right petal is kind of thinner, so I'm not worried about rolling it both ways, and I'm just pulling it lightly, and then wrap it around the back, and you can just fold it over a little bit. Now, you don't have to worry about this too much, because when you put her on the what the hell is it called? Can't think of the word. When you put it on the cookie sheet to cook it, it'll keep her the way she's supposed to be. So this is going to be the middle one, and it's a bit wider. And if you're not too worried about anybody seeing the back of it, you don't have to worry about how the back looks. And I just want it to be tall enough to go over that little tip thing like it is in the picture. And then the one on the bottom of the left-hand side is wider than the other. And somehow, some way, this thing just got totally deformed. So that's the bottom one. That's the top one. Just put them over each other like that. You can curl them. Seems like I made the one too big. If you make them too big and you don't want to go over them again, you can just fold them over and then just smooth it out with your finger really nicely. So that's basically how that works. These won't stay up on their own when they're all mushy. You have to put them through the oven, and then they'll stay the way they're supposed to be. So that is how you make the head of her. And if you are just making her for inside the house, you can just take any type of wire thing that can hold and she'll be good like that. So if you have her on a wire, which I suggest because I don't really think that it's good for them to just be held up on their own, especially because her stem is so thin. I covered this lightly in clay, and then I made her thorns by just taking a little bit and you just pinch it, or you pull at it and it'll make the tip, which they really hurt after they're done drying. So that is how you do that part. And for her leaves, you use the same exact thing. I keep on falling down. For the leaves, you want to make them thick. And I didn't put any emphasis on it until after it came out of the oven. That's when I painted on the stripes and whatnot. The only leaves that you really, anybody should really worry about, I guess, are the top ones. So that's why I'm going to show you how to make those ones. Because after you learn how to do these ones, you can just do the bottom ones easy. So I took them like this. Too far. Okay, so I put the two right there, and then I took the third one. And for the third one, I wanted it to be more puffed up, since that's supposed to be her chest, and she seems like she's supposed to be a like a really sophisticated woman. So I took a ball of clay and I put it behind it and rolled it over. And these you just stick right on to, just stick them on her, and you can pose them however you want while she's laying down right before baking. And then just take the middle one and stick it on like that. Yeah, see, they don't stay up. This is like a lot easier when the whole thing is covered in clay. So that is what her arms and chest look like when you're all done with her. And hopefully your head will come out better looking than this head. Like I said, this isn't the first one that I made, this is the second one. So when I was done with it, of course it's not going to show mine. Anyway, you've seen on Instagram what mine looks like, and all it is taking your time and really paying attention to detail. And see, that's how much I care about this one. But that is exactly how I made mine, and like I said, just really pay attention to the picture. You can find the picture on Google, or on my page I have the comparison picture, and that's what I use to go off of. If you want to make them to go out in the yard, I got my stick for it from Lowe's. It was 69 cents, and I took pliers and I unbent this part. This is the part that I used as the bottom, and this is the part that I used as the top. so that because when you unbend this, it doesn't really look nice. So that is how I made my white rose.